interested?
Not really. I'm just making sure you're not trying to invite any more demons over for tea and crumpets or whatever you British pony do to kill the time.
Can we please have a little bit of trust here at this point? Do you have any idea how many times I have others coming to me warning me how not to abuse my powers? Also, for the record, I don't even like tea and crumpets. Coffee and a jam donut is always to my liking.
Nope. Not really. I mean, you did tilt the secret rift on its side for nearly a week, then days after you caused a literal storm in space that lasted nearly a month and interrupted all of the portals every now and then. Portal, tricky fox.
And how many times are you going to bring that one up to me, I wonder?
Look, out of all the members, you, as a mod, are supposed to show a good example, and messing around with chaos magic, which you still haven't learned how to control, is a terrible idea.
I draw butts on DeviantArt in my spare time. I'm fairly sure that's not really role model material already. Also, please stop reminding me that I don't know how to use this thing, will you? It's embarrassing enough as it is because no one else around here knows how to use Warpstone.
Well, why not ask Aeon for help, like everyone else when they have a magical problem?
Because I'd basically be going to him asking, "Hey Aeon, can you help me with all of this magical essence coming out of me?"
Yeah, it's not that Oh my.
My point has been made.
Okay, fine, but seriously, you really need to find a way to control that magic of yours before you end up doing something reckless again.
Ah, of course. What could I possibly unleash the next time? Bringing back the milk, perhaps?
I am trying to have a serious conversation with you here.
And I'm failing. And I apologise. It's just that for the past few months since I've had this Warpstone, you have done nothing but complain to me about it. Coming from a Kasune, a literal Japanese folklore spirit fox. You have as much connection to dark magic as I do. And yet, you seldom use it because you're afraid you might turn over a certain stone that will unleash Pandora's box or some crap like that.
Hey, I use chaotic neutral magic, okay? And I don't use... Okay, that's it. Let's do it the tricky way then. Hey, honey. I'm really concerned about that Warpstone of yours and...
Honey, you gotta fix my TV with your Warpstone right away on it! Oh, Tricky? Tricky, what the fuck?
As much as I love the fact that my wildest dreams have come true right now, that in fact is not what the fox says.
You are not helping. Okay, I've had enough of this. If you are not listening to reason, then I'm just going to have to get through to you in a more direct way.
Are you directly calling me insane now?
You and me are going to do a collab right here, right now.
Ah.
Hey Fox, next time, can you please, turn into clipboard?
Yeah, okay then. Let's do this, Foxy.
What's wrong with the two of you?
All the things.
I'd rather be shiny like a treasure from a sunken pirate wreck. Scrub the deck and make it look shiny.
I'll be around after this. Okay, babe?
Okay, my sweet grey wolf.
Also, Tricky, can you please transform back? You looking like my girlfriend is slightly distracting.
Distracting, you say? Oh my.
At this rate, I could have gone with Aeon after all. Anyway, let's just do this thing. Hello there my friends, I'm the editor and welcome back to Cut and Print, and today I am, for the lack of a better word, forced to be with Tricky Fox. Speaking of which, you never even said what episode you wanted to review anyway.
Inspiration manifestation, my grey pony companion.
Why exactly?
Because you need to learn one way or another about how not to abuse your power.
Alright then, Mom. Since you're so bent upon this, why don't we start? The episode begins with yet another festival taking place. What is the budget of Ponyville exactly? They're throwing more parties than Greek people do for a Greek night. I should know, I've been to at least 7 or 8 of them.
cutting away to Rarity, who has designed a puppet theater box. Either that or she is competing for Pimp My Puppet. But it's neither practical or appealing to the puppet master, who looks like an overweight Willy Wonka. That and has the same accent as Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Completely unusable.
Do you feel this?
I might come across as an ass, but in this situation, I am actually on Willy Wonka's side here. This isn't the first time that Rarity has put anesthetics before practicality, nor will it be the last time. She focuses too much on detail rather than how it would be used and what conditions it would be used in. It's like you buy a new expensive pair of shoes, then you panic about getting dirt on them or getting them scuffed. If you bought them for practical purpose, why are you obsessed with appearance? And if that's the case, why get them at all?
It has to do with sentimental value. If you want something to be special, or if it is for a special event, you will want it to look special for who it is for. Like if you wanted to make something for a stage show or a different special event, a wedding, a birthday, a celebration, you would want it to look like you put the effort into making it special for who it is for.
Call me old-fashioned, but I'm always on the notion that the customer is always right. They're the ones that use it after all. And for personal experience, I care more for usefulness than how it looks while using it. So yeah, I agree with Willy Wonka. But I wouldn't be lying if I didn't say those puppets of his weren't creepy doing that head tilt. Rarity already knows he's pissed, so what's the point of the creepy animation?
Moving away from that, Spike, wanting to help, goes to the castle of the two sisters to look for some metaphorical inspiration, which she ends up finding in some literal inspiration. The Inspiration Manifestation, a book that allows whoever who reads it to enhance their power and make whatever they wish more fabulous than it originally was. Okay, so why is there a magical item like that spellbook even still in that library? It was the same with the Elements of Harmony. Why would Celestia keep such a powerful artifact in the castle for over 1,000 years with no one looking after them? It makes no sense whatsoever that she never moved her stuff from that castle to Canterlot after she abandoned it.
The one thing that's interesting here is that normally whenever anyone can look to an episode to review and analyze it, this is a first. The show has picked out the flaws in the episode.
What are you talking about?
It's from what Rarity did at the beginning. Remember, she made this absolutely stunning looking box. However, the practical usage of it was the problem. Now, using the Inspiration Manifestation, she recreated another puppet box, improving the lack of practical use to exactly what Willy Wonka wanted.
This guy probably has a real name, you know?
Well, he's not in the episode long enough for me to care to look up what he looks like, so I'm referring to him thusly. My point is, this one sentence he says.
Yeah, well, it is gorgeous, but that was never the problem now, was it?
You get that? All she needed to do was just make it wider and make the wheels bigger. That's it. With the Inspiration Manifestation, she could have easily done that and still keep the fancy appeal she makes everything else in the episode look like. But she does the opposite. She makes it bland and simple, completely going against what the Inspiration Manifestation is used for further on. I just find that really odd that the episode itself makes its own problems by ignoring the biggest plot point of the episode. Is that just me?
Well, if you are talking about things that stand out in this episode, then in my case, it's actually kind of funny how Rarity gets the ability to manifest whatever she imagines in this episode, considering that they more or less gave her the same power in Power Ponies, where she became a blatant Green Lantern ripoff. Actually, now that I think about it, it's kinda lazy. They use the same idea twice, in the same season.
Plenty of room for my puppets.
What? What was the point of that scene being played?
Because it's funny.
Plenty of room for my puppets.
I don't know why, but the way he says that, it's too funny not to laugh at it.
Plenty of room for my puppets.
Okay. I think I'm good. For now.
I have way too many concerns for you in general, but anyways, the rest of the episode is essentially Rarity looking around, seeing what she can make more fancy, and even though Spike aids the book, Rarity somehow maintains its power. And in The Gift of the Mort Pie, we actually get to see that book again, and strangely, Rarity doesn't seem to recognize it.
Now, one thing is that this episode can, in some cases, be seen as an addiction. I mean, the signs are somewhat there, but this episode makes it a bit too obvious that Rarity was obviously possessed by the spellbook. So maybe then we can take a look into this in the world of J.R.R. Tolkien and say that this is the sort of the One Ring situation, in which whoever possesses it has the urge for power and desires to keep hold of it. Not so much how Gollum developed a split personality, but the obsession is definitely present here.
Now, the book itself is obviously magic, but Spike seemingly gave it to Rarity thinking that it was just a spellbook and Rarity casted it like just some random spell. But it doesn't really make any sense when you consider that it has been established that most unicorns actually aren't that great at spell casting. Unicorns like Twilight and Starlight, and probably a lot of students at Celestia School for Gifted Unicorns, are the exception. Rarity has never been shown to actually use any spells besides that gem searching spell, which is related to a Cutie mark and basic telekinesis, not counting her weather manipulation spells in Magical Mystery Cure, as they could have been made possible by Rainbow Dash's Cutie mark, or you could even say that she merely used telekinesis there as well. Considering that Spike is very well aware that not all unicorns can use spells like Twilight, it is unlikely that he would suggest a spell to her, and Rarity is as unlikely to try it out. Now, the source of the magic obviously is the spellbook itself, but in that case I think it would have worked better not to make it a spell that has to be cast, but rather simply a cursed amulet or something like that.
Reiteration what I said before about the one thing situation she's going through. If they did that, then it would probably get copyrighted.
Well, if we are going off that logic then, I don't see how this can be classed as a Rarity episode, seeing as she is under the influence of something else, some other darker power. Now, this episode is all about Spike learning to be more honest towards Rarity, and that he should speak his mind if he actually wants her to do better. The message is easily the best thing about this episode. You should be honest with people and give them constructive criticism. You shouldn't hold them back just because you fear that you will upset them.
I don't know if this would count, but sometimes I get the feeling that people in the Brony community try more to encourage content creators with praise rather than actually giving them any helpful advice about how to improve, even if they don't want to give it because it might upset them. Personal experience of mine before my redesign, I used to just do recap reviews. Now I actually put out my own thoughts and feelings out there for all to see. I look back at my old content now and think, why are you literally scribing what's already been seen? Where's your opinion? Where's the ambition? It wasn't until I actually got called out for doing it did I see that a change was needed. I mean, sure, some people can take criticism, but it gets to the point where someone who only ever gets praise, they get more frustrated than anything else.
The problem being that Spike's fears came true just as he thought they would in this episode, but it wasn't really because he wasn't being honest, it was because he was afraid to hurt Rarity's feelings.
I'm so excited!
I'm so scared.
You should be aware when it is appropriate to speak your mind and when not. Not to mention that phrasing is important as well. Even if you give some valid criticism, it isn't really helpful if you attack others with it, like AJ did in Honest Apple. She was downright mean.
Well, at least Spike finally does admit how much he was wrong to tell Rarity as it is. And, well, once again Spike is portrayed very well in this episode.
That is why this episode is often considered one of the best Spike episodes.
Overall, for this episode, I'm gonna give it a gold. The fact that Spike doesn't want to upset Rarity, the person he ideals, and again, this is also a rather relatable problem, which makes it much more satisfying when Spike is able to overcome his fears.
Sure, he does make mistakes, but it is easy to root for him in this episode, unlike a lot of other Spike-centric episodes. And sure, he wants to get on Rarity's good side, but he genuinely means well and simply doesn't want to upset her. And finally, he might still be the cause of the conflict, but as he didn't do it out of selfish reasons, like in other episodes, there isn't really a problem with that either. And on that note, there's no better point to show you this part of the video editor.
Do you have any idea how hard it was to reverse that much dark magic?
Your point?
Editor, the point I'm making is that you need to be more responsible with your demon magic. Either that or stop using it in the secret crypt. It's dangerous.
Alright. I can try to tone it down in the tavern.
Good. Well, that's a start. And from now on, you are cleaning after the messes you make yourself.
Any real reason you're lecturing me? You forget I'm a mod like you, right?
I'm asking you as a friend. And for the safety of others.
Okay, fine. However, am I able to do myself one more thing before I swear off not using this impractically?
And that would be...
For we must journey to... My, who could that be? Hello, this is Mayor Brimstone.
Hello, I am the Ed. No. I mean, I'm a concerned citizen.
Well, how may I help you, citizen?
Yes, see, I'm wondering, why is my refrigerator running?
I think you're supposed to ask me.
I am asking you.
No, I mean, you're supposed to ask if my refrigerator is running.
Your refrigerator's filthy demon garbage compared to mine. Mine is from B&Q, bitch.
Did you actually want something?
Oh, right. Yes, actually, yes. I'm calling to tell you that I have confiscated your life.
No, you haven't. I'm right here.
Sorry. I forgot. You don't have a life.
Enough! Who is this?
Yeah, I'm not taking any more part in this lunacy. And seeing as he completely lost it, I guess he was the editor, and that's a wrap.